What's good, YouTube? So today I'm bringing you my pure Ryzeal deck profile. So this is a long time coming. This is actually the deck that I started my YouTube journey on. This is one of the decks that kind of brought me back into the game. I feel like just having a tier 1 meta deck that's actually very simple to play, very beginner friendly, it was just very cool to see. Cards like Ryzeal Detonator are so busted and so unfair, even X Ryzeal as well. I honestly don't feel the deck is going to last very long. I do have a gut suspicion that the next ban list will crater this deck off of relevancy and most likely hit X Ryzeal to 1 and probably just hit the consistency down to the point where it's pretty much will only be used as an engine, even more so than it already is because the engine is very small. You'll see that as we go over the deck profile. The deck is actually very budget as well if you do not include the 7th Tachyon package. You can honestly even get away with just running 1 7th Tachyon and 3 7th Ascension if you want, if you do really want to play the pure version of the deck. Mitsurugi Ryzeal is technically considered the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel like at the moment. However, the pure version is still very good. The ceiling of the deck is a lot lower. The end board isn't too crazy. I'll show you guys a little test run at the end of the video. But again, it's very beginner friendly. So before we go into the actual deck profile, if you guys are new to the channel, I hope you guys subscribe. I am trying to get to 1,000 subs, hopefully within the next few months. And a little something about myself as well.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was.
So going straight into the deck profile, we have 2 X Ryzeal, 2 Ice Ryzeal, 2 Sword Ryzeal, trying to fit everything on screen, 1 Node Ryzeal, 1 Star Ryzeal, 1 Bonfire, 1 Cross, and 1 plugin. So that is pretty much the entire engine right there. Then we have some consistency cards I will go over afterwards. But this whole package right here is like around, I believe, $40. I know the cards have kind of been going up and down. Each of these cards were around $20 to $30 like maybe 2 months ago. And now they dropped from anywhere from $5 to $15 each card, with the whole bottom row pretty much being less than $8 card as well. It's pretty much just the top 6 cards. In case you don't know what the cards do, Ice Ryzeal is basically your normal summon. He gets a special summon another Ryzeal from the deck. So very similar to Sprite cards. However, just a more busted version of Sprite. X Ryzeal gets a special summon itself by sending a card from the extra deck to the graveyard. And then Sword Ryzeal gets a special summon itself as long as there is a Ryzeal on the field or in the graveyard. And then they get to add one of the other ones. So the Light Pyros get to add the Fire Thunders, and the Fire Thunders get to add the Light Pyros. And then Ice Ryzeal is the only one that gets a special summon another Ryzeal from the deck. Bonfire is pretty much consistency. Plugin is your Monster Reborn. But with the engine being so small, it's great to have Ryzeal Cross be able to put them back into the deck from the graveyard. And then you also get to draw a card. And then Ryzeal Cross is also a negate. And then Star Ryzeal is one of the new cards. It is an extender as well. And then Star Ryzeal can also set either Ryzeal Cross or Ryzeal Plugin. The other card that Star Ryzeal can set is the Trap card. That is actually a card I am looking to add to the main deck. I couldn't find, I had a few copies of the card lying around somewhere. I don't know where I placed them though. So that is going to be a card I will add to the deck in the future. I feel like the end board of the Ryzeal deck isn't really too ominous or too intimidating. However, having the Trap card does kind of give it a different layer. So that is something I am going to be adding in the future as well. And the Node Ryzeal is pretty much just another extender, gets a special summon from the graveyard by sending one of your other face-up Ryzeal cards. Node Ryzeal says you can send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target 1 Ryzeal monster in your graveyard except Node Ryzeal and special summon it. So again, just another extender and kind of going into your other rank 4 monsters as well. Then we have 3 7th Tachyon, 3 7th Ascension. Again, just having extra consistency. These are basically 6 other copies of Ice Ryzeal and X Ryzeal, pretty much if you're going first or second. 7th Ascension does lose extremely hard to draw though. So this card is obviously not ideal to draw. However, again, you need as much consistency as possible. And if you did want to do this very budget, you could just do 3 7th Ascension and 1 7th Tachyon. Again, loses really hard to draw, but will save you like $60. So this is something you can also look at. And then we have Triple Tack, Called By, Cross Out, Pot of Prosperity, and Pot of Desires. Again, just for more consistency and to ensure that your combos go through. Pot of Desires is something that used to be run at 3 of in this deck. A lot of people did cut it completely. I do just have 1 in. This might be what I end up cutting for the Trap card. I'm not sure. I do like it still. If you're able to get all the names in rotation and then kind of possibly use it at the end of your turn, then you can draw 2, hopefully hand traps, and then use your cross to kind of put your other names back into the deck. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's it for the consistency cards. Then for the rest of the deck, we have 3 Ash, 3 Fualos, 3 Droll, 3 Nib, 3 Infinite Permanence, and 3 Solemn Strike to round out the rest of the deck. This Solemn Strike could be replaced for more hand traps if that's something you want to fill the deck in. I just feel, again, with the hand board not being very too crazy, I feel like having cards like Solemn Strike just makes the end board a lot better if you have a Solemn Strike detonator backed up with a hand trap or 2 plus cross. Pretty hard to get over. Now going over the extra deck, very typical stuff. 1 detonator, 2 dual drive, 2 Eclipse Twins, 1 Ryzeal for the 7th Tachyon, Evil Swarm if you ever want a hand loop, Star Liege, Baguska, Infernal Flame Banshee to get your Ryzeal cards, Dugaris to draw, Evil Swarm to blow up boards going second. I do have Gallant Granite in here to get a nib. Sometimes you have enough cast in your hand where you can also end with a nib in hand. Trail Dragon for the back row decks. Aggregator, obviously just a staple. Can negate any cards using extra Ryzeal to special summon itself. But yeah, again, very typical stuff. Nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary, maybe except for the Evil Swarm and the Gallant Granite. I feel like for some reason the Gallant Granite is just used a lot in the Mitsurugi version, not too much with the actual pure version. So it's been a while since I played this deck, honestly, but I'm going to do a quick test hand. Again, like this is a very beginner-friendly deck, so very easy to play. And aside from the 7 Tachyon cards, honestly very budget as well. If you already have the hand traps, you can honestly create the deck for less than $100. If you want to do the bootleg 7 Tachyon version, or even just playing 2 copies. You can play 2 copies of 7 Tachyon and then 3 Ascension. Again, it loses hard to draw, but again, I do not like to play scared. I don't like to play scared of nib, play scared of draw. You just play Yu-Gi-Oh! You play to have fun. All right, so we got Pot of Desires, Ice Ryzeal, X Ryzeal, Solemn Strike, and Ash Blossom. So very good going first hand. If we were going second, would have drew Troll. Okay, probably useless going second for the 6th card. So again, very good going first hand, not the greatest going second. However, X Ryzeal is actually considered a going second card as well because you can special summon itself and you'd be able to send your Mirror Logic Aggregator to hopefully negate something. So again, really good hand, really good first hand, and then we're hopefully can show you Pot of Desires, show you live on camera what exactly Pot of Desires do. Sometimes it causes us pain, sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see what it does if it gets us 2 good draws or if we end up banishing everything from our deck. So we're gonna go ahead and normal summon Ice Ryzeal. Ice Ryzeal's effect, that's gonna go ahead and special summon our Sword Ryzeal. We can then activate Sword Ryzeal's effect to go ahead and grab us a light pyro monster. So usually we'd be grabbing X Ryzeal, but since we already got X Ryzeal, we can just go ahead and grab us our Star Ryzeal to our hand. So now if you want, you could go ahead and use X Ryzeal to special summon itself, and you can send a dual drive to the graveyard. That way when you go into dual drive, you have something in the graveyard to attach to it. So that when we get cross, we can become nib proof. However, I think we're gonna end up getting plug-in anyways, so we're not really gonna be scared of nib. So we can just go ahead and do it right now. Utilize these 2, detach these 2. From there, we're gonna go ahead and grab our cross and our plugin. We can just go ahead and activate cross. That way, if something did happen, we can just go ahead and chain Ryzeal plugin, and that would go ahead special summoning one of the Ryzeals from our graveyard, and then attaching something to our dual drive, and then at the end of the chain, we'd be able to activate Ryzeal cross to negate nib anyways. So Ryzeal plugin's in our hand. Now we can go ahead, special summon our X Ryzeal, and we can go ahead and send our Eclipse Twins to the graveyard. Then we can get activate X Ryzeal. I can go ahead and grab us our Node Ryzeal, or if you want, you can grab another Sword Ryzeal. Since we haven't used the special summon from the hand effect, but for now, I think we're just gonna do Node Ryzeal, because then we can go ahead, special summon Node Ryzeal, and then we can activate Node Ryzeal's effect to send this, to special summon this. From here, you can do a few things. We can go ahead and hand loop our opponent with the Evil Swarm XYZ. We can get nib right now. I think that might be the best route, actually, just to get nib. I like having nib. We already have Ash Blossom and Solemn Strike. Or if you want to draw 2 with number 60 Dugaris. But I think, honestly, with this specific hand, if I was playing in a game, I would honestly try and get nib right now because I have Ash and Solemn Strike as well. Then we can also utilize Star Ryzeal as well. So we go ahead and get Gallant Granite, detach this. That's gonna go ahead and grab us our nib from the deck. So we have nib in hand now. Then we can go ahead and special summon Star Ryzeal by detaching the Node Ryzeal from the Gallant Granite. And then this is where if we had the trap card would be a lot better, which is why I do plan to put in the deck, because Star Ryzeal would be able to go ahead and set the trap card, which would make our end board a lot stronger. But for now, I think it's just going to be a very safe play by just going into our Ryzeal Detonator here. So Ryzeal Detonator gets special summoned, and then we can go ahead and attach our Eclipse Twins to Ryzeal Detonator, and then we still have 5 cards in hand. So with just this right here, we have 3 pops, potentially 5 pops because we have Eclipse Twins as well. Kind of a dead Gallant Granite sitting there. It might have been better, honestly, to do a different route where we kept dual drive on the field at least for our Ryzeal plugin. But again, we're going to be able to set Ryzeal plugin anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the deck up really quick because I'm going to end up doing the Pot of Desires. Again, I have not played this deck in a while. I did just kind of put it together right now just to kind of play around with it. So again, probably not the most optimal line, but again, it's such a simple deck that even not playing optimal, it still ends on a pretty cool board. So I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle this up. From here, I will just go ahead and activate Pot of Desires, banishing 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got the Tachyon cards and a bunch of hand traps. So pretty much, yeah, so this is what I was expecting. None of this stuff is needed. If anything, you're happy that these Tachyon cards are gone and it's a bunch of hand traps. Then you do 1, 2. Not the best draws, not the worst draws. So from here, we have triple attack in case we did get hand trapped. We'd be able to set Called by the Grave, Ryzeal plugin, and Solemn Strike. So we have 3 pops or 2 pops, and then a negate with the Ryzeal Cross. We have Solemn Strike, we have Called by the Grave, we have Ryzeal plugin for some additional interruption because we'd be able to hopefully special summon our Sword Ryzeal. Sword Ryzeal will then get us our X Ryzeal to our hand for the follow-up turn, giving us follow-up. I'll just go ahead and play it out actually. So we pass turn. So whatever our opponent does, we'd probably want to go ahead and use stuff on the board just in case they have anything, possibly popping their first thing with a Detonator. If they did out Detonator for some reason, Detonator gets outed after the pop. We then be able to activate Eclipse Twins, special summoning Detonator and attaching our dual drive to it. And then Detonator can go ahead and activate, reattaching the Eclipse Twins to it. So then we still have 2 more pops. That is if they were able to out a card with Detonator. So they're down to 5 cards. Solemn Strike would be able to get rid of something. Utilizing Ryzeal plugin as well. You'd honestly even be able to attach something like Star Ryzeal or one of your Ryzeal cards to your Gallant Granite if you're able to protect it, have 2300 attack, and then get a second nib on the follow-up turn as well. Or more than likely, you would just go ahead, activate Ryzeal plugin, special summon Sword Ryzeal. Sword Ryzeal would get us our X Ryzeal to our hand for follow-up. Then we'll be able to attach another Ryzeal card. I think we don't have much left, so we have Ice Ryzeal to our Detonator for 3 pops still. And then we have 4 cards in hand. We haven't even utilized Solemn Strike. We could utilize Called by the Grave as well. If we did utilize Detonator to pop one of their cards, we can also use Ryzeal Cross as a negate to detach from this, negate something that they have as well. I did forget on the last turn, before ending our turn as well, we could have utilized a Ryzeal Cross to put our Ice Ryzeal and X Ryzeal back into the deck. And that would have been able to shuffle. That would have been able to for us to draw 1 more card. So we would have been able to have 1 more draw. Would have been most likely a hand trap. Yeah, so much going on with this deck. Yeah, still very simple. So that wraps up the video. I did end up finding my other Ryzeal Plasma Hole. Definitely 100% adding this to the deck. Just making the ceiling a lot higher and just having Star having another card to grab from the deck and set. It makes your end board stronger, then also has the added effect of while it's in the graveyard, you can banish it and then XYZ on your opponent's turn. So very good stuff. If you guys want to see more of the pure Ryzeal version of the deck, let me know in the comments below. I'm definitely a big fan of this deck. I'm looking forward to relearning the deck as well. Again, this was the first Yu-Gi-Oh deck I did end up playing. I'm coming back into the game, and it's been a while since I've honestly played it. So again, that is why I am still kind of relearning the deck. Hopefully it can bring you guys an updated combo version of the deck with the lines more mastered. But yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys today. I'll catch you guys in the next video.